Hi everyone, it's Julie and welcome back to my story time. It's Holy Week, the last week of Lent that leads us to Easter Sunday, the day we celebrate that Jesus is alive forever. And so during this Holy Week, I hope you'll spend more time with your family, reading Bible stories together, praying with Jesus, and just talking about all that Jesus has given us so that we can have a forever life with him. So to celebrate Easter in another way, I've chosen a book about Easter, and it's one of my new favorite books. It's entitled "Twas the Morning of Easter." This book is written by Glenys Nellist and illustrated by Elena Selivanova. And if the writing on this book looks familiar to you, it might just be. The author who wrote this book also wrote a book about Christmas. "Twas the Evening of Christmas." And that's a book that we actually gave to families on Christmas Eve, 2 Christmas Eves ago. So you might have that book at home, "Twas the Evening of Christmas." So I wanted to share this new book that she's written about Easter with you. He has risen, Matthew 28, verse 6. Here's an illustration of the city of Jerusalem. "'Twas the morning of Easter." "'Twas the morning of Easter, before the sun rose. 2 guards on a hillside were just trying to doze. You see, Jesus had died only 3 days before. A huge stone had been placed to seal the cave door. The disciples were sleeping, but tossed in their heads as visions of danger swirled round in their heads. Would they be arrested and led away too? Without Jesus, their leader, what would they do? In her small, quiet home, not too far away, Jesus' friend Mary was planning the day. She would go to the cave with perfume and spice in hopes that her gifts would make Jesus smell nice. The sun through the trees was just starting to peep at the guards on the hill who were now fast asleep. When all of a sudden there came an earthquake. All the rocks and the trees all started to shake. Do you know what happens next? What happened after the earthquake? The guards jumped in fright, then fell straight to the floor as the stone rolled away and unsealed the door. Then Mary arrived and crept up to the cave. She had to see Jesus. She had to be brave. The stone rolled away. But the cave was now empty. He just wasn't there. Mary sat down and wept, and her cries filled the air. But suddenly, Mary heard someone behind. "Dear woman, who is it that you hope to find?" Do you have any idea who said that to Mary? Let's see. Mary jumped and turned round, so confused and afraid. Was this man the gardener? And why had he stayed? but the calm in his voice, the words that he said, soon let Mary know she had nothing to dread. Dear Mary, it's me. It's Jesus, your friend. My story's just starting. This wasn't the end. His eyes, how they twinkled, his smile so bright. Mary knew in a moment. But could she be right? She gasped in surprise and cried, Jesus, it's you! You came back to life. Your promise came true. Jesus nodded and said, but there's no time to lose. You must tell the disciples, go, spread the good news. What's the good news? Jesus is alive. That's right, that is the good news. So she jumped to her feet, and away Mary went. She'd a story to tell, a tale heaven sent. She ran without stopping and called through the door, disciples, you've never heard this news before. Now Peter, now James, now Thomas, now John. I went to the cave. Jesus' body was gone. But he called me by name. He's alive. It is true. It's a miracle only our great God could do. Then the trees seemed to dance, birds started to sing, all creation joined in to worship the King. He's alive, the rocks cried in praise. The whole earth rejoiced on this day of all days. Aren't those birds beautiful? Oh. The trees. When later that night Mary knelt down to pray, she thought about all that had happened that day, and the stars heard her whisper through soft evening light. Happy Easter to all, and to all a good night. The miracle of Easter will soon be here. I hope you have a beautiful and joyous Easter Sunday, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.